one piece of career advice you wish you'd been given when you were first starting out?
One thing I wish I knew in my early career days is the concept of self-advocacy. In fact, I did not know about it until later in my career. There is something about it from a cultural aspect as well. Having grown up in a society in India where you're taught to show up for others, help out, watch for others, it's really hardwired into you. I had to start all over and learn that I have to show up for myself. I'm working on it. I have been working on it for quite some time. It's still very hard for me to do. It's something that I would, as a piece of advice for anybody starting the workforce, self-advocate, show up for yourself. And it's something that has to happen really early in a woman's or a girl's life. Start at home, in a school setting, in all the other social settings, even before you get to the workforce. It goes a long way.
Prathibha, can you share a pivotal moment in your career journey that made a significant impact?
Yeah, I took a very non-traditional route to enter the world of technology. When I was in high school, I had no interest in pursuing any STEM courses, primarily because STEM college courses were fiercely competed and it was an expensive proposition for when I was going to college. So I was very decisive at that point that I'll probably go down the path of a business or an accounting degree and become a CFA or a CPA. So that my mind when I was in high school, that this is a path that I was going to take. But right when I was completing high school and I applied for colleges, obviously to take a business or an accounting degree, it was the dot-com period was in full flourish. And I started to see a lot of material around computer science certification courses and programs. It seemed very interesting to me and it drew me to kind of be able to enroll in such a program. It actually required a 3-year commitment, a long-term commitment. It was almost like a equivalent of an undergrad course, but the draw was such that I was very intrigued by the computer science certification program, enrolled in it. And that impromptu decision actually led me down the path of being a technologist and later in my life being in the field of data and analytics.
And then final question, how do you approach challenges and setbacks in your professional life and what's your go-to strategy for overcoming them?
Interestingly, the path that led me to enroll in that 3-year certification program in computer science was one led by curiosity, but also was due to a setback that I had in enrolling in an undergrad program. I did not get into the colleges that I had applied for the business and accounting degree. None of my top choices, I couldn't make it in. The one that I got happened to be an evening or a part-time type of an undergrad program. When a lot of my other peers made it to really good schools, so on and so forth. In fact, the part-time program turned out to be a blessing since I had a lot more time in the day and this dual enrollment in the certification program was possible. I was able to manage the workload between taking my college college courses in the evening and the certification program and spend a lot more time in the lab and, working on computer programs during that period. It turned out to be such a blessing, worked out really well. And that was the moment when I realized there's always a silver lining, something more positive to kind of all the setbacks and challenges that one has to go through. And it made me turn out to be this a glass half full optimist. Throughout my career, everybody will come up to me like, God, you're such an optimist. How is that possible? It's probably because of my early kind of lesson in the early period of my career during the college days, not being able to get into the college that I wanted to, having enrolled into this other program that I started to see the glass half full. And it serves me as a reminder constantly that nothing comes easy in life. You have to be persistent, you have to be resilient to changes, and that there is always something good that comes out of such situations. No pressure, no diamonds, and that's what keeps me going. So I always kind of look back at a scenario and see how does that turn into something more positive for me.
Okay, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all of that, Prathibha.
Thank you, Amy. Thanks for having me here.
No worries, it was a pleasure.